Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty good rack. It looks close to a bingo. I can't see a 7. Through a D, I would have skiddier. This rack should be pretty easy to resolve. If I haven't got a bingo, a play of KI or Kid would leave a pretty decent rack leave. Great, there's the D for skiddier. If I had something through an A, it might be a double-double. But I can't see such a bingo. Can't see anything through the F. What about the U? No, Fadier does take an S, but I haven't got a 7, so skiddier it is. And I think Kiddier's is also good, so I might play that. It could draw a challenge. Yeah, and I think this is better because it's not providing a double-double in row E. Pretty good pickup. There may well be some 8-letter bingos with this set, and quite a few floaters to consider. I can't see a 7. Can't see anything through the R or F of Fadier. Well, I'm not seeing a bingo with any of the floaters on this board. Amu would sort the rack out, and that plays in column 5 alongside Kiddier's. Famula. No, it's Famuli. So that's not a move. Flexo takes an R. I don't have one, and my spot for Amu has been blocked, but a new one's been created. Amu 23. Pretty good. I have Spangled in row M. Do I have anything else? Well, not that I can see. So I think there's going to be a big difference between the bingo and the next best non-bingo. I can't see anything through the U. Close to angle dug. Through an I would have pleading. No I's available in the right spot. Just wondering if I have anything in column 2. I've got a P for going in front of axe. I've got an L for going in between axe and E. And MO takes an E in front of the R, so I could have a play L-E-A-P. That would look quite funky. Great, Spangled remains available. Fantastic. I'm just going to challenge Maxie's. Doesn't look quite right to me. Fantastic. Spangled. Yep, and this gets doubled, so this should be a good score. 82. And I draw the Z. Quite a few vowels to go with it, which is good. I don't think I have a bingo here. Through a P I would have Zapatios. No P available. So where can my Z play? Well, I haven't seen anywhere for it so far. There's no obvious spots for it. Now, what about column 12? I Could play Z-O... Gosh, A-E-A-E. Not quite sure about that. And in any event, I don't really want to place the Z so that my opponent can play a 4-letter Z play. However, it would score about 50 points. So, tricky balancing act there. Let me see what this looks like. I need to decide first of all if it's good. No, it's not good. So I could play Azul down here. Or I could play a Z on this one of these triple letter squares and making fades, burning the S. I'd rather not do that. Well, I thought this would be fairly straightforward to resolve, and it's not. Zoil 28, slightly better than Azul. And quite a good rack leave. But I don't think there's a bingo here. Onto ER, I would have anti-busser. I suspect there are some 8s with this rack. Now, what about the O of Mayo? Stays available. Quite a high probability set of tiles here. Unlikely to be anything through the U, since that duplicates what I have. What about the R? Urbanist. Ah, that doesn't fit. Does Urbanist have an anagram? Not seeing it. Column 2 is a bingo lane for bingos ending in S. So it's worth hanging on to my S for that. ID is a 2-letter set to consider. I've got the sub-prefix and the anti-prefix. Well, I'm not seeing a bingo here. But if I played off just the B and the U, I'd be keeping stain, which is pretty bingo-y. So where can I do that? Well, I could play nub. But then, well, I'm taking out the O, but I don't think the O's a desperately useful floater. The main thing is that there are 2 bingo lanes for 7-letter bingos ending, or 3 bingo lanes for bingos ending in S. So nub for 14. So do I have a 7 here? Well, I don't think I do. It's so close. So is there a bingo through an R or a U or a K? I think pan stick is good. Well, that wouldn't have fitted, and in any event it's been taken out. Cantrips is good. That's been blocked. I've blocked the O. The E is available. Something E, something S. I don't think picantes is good. Wow. I was optimistic of bingoing having kept stain. I guess having 2 high-scoring tiles reduces my bingo prospects. I hope there isn't a 7 here ending in S. It'll be high probability if there is. 44 tiles left, 13 minutes on the clock. but it's not coming to mind. So I think the C is more bingo-y than the P. But it's having the two vowels is quite useful. I picked up C and P. That's annoying, picking up two high-scoring tiles. Well, I can just play them off by playing cop. Only 13 points. I don't want to get into a run of low-scoring plays, keeping good rack plays which don't mature into bingos. But when you've got this sort of rack, it can be hard to avoid that. It's certainly useful keeping a 5-letter bingo-y rack leave. It's much better than a 4-letter one. I can't see anywhere else for C and P, and I can't see that I'm foregoing a massive score, except 25. 13 or 25, 12 points. I think I will play this. And if I draw even one vowel, I should be in good shape. Great, that looks pretty good. And, well, I'm waiting for the bingo to come to mind, and it's not. Surely there's a bingo here. Well, I'm not seeing it. No, there isn't. I don't think there is. I think Tony's doesn't go with a G. Well, how annoying. I do have a 100-point lead, which is good. There's OB to consider as a 2-letter set. Can't see anything through that. Now, what about the V and the R? Can't see anything there. Although my ING... taxis takes an A in front. I don't have that. My opponent's provided a T floater. Tentigos is good. That doesn't work. What about V something ring? So that would be stovering. Stovering, not good. 11 minutes on my clock. Well, pretty painful position to be in, to have a great rack, not seeing a bingo. There's really nothing through OB. Boongiest are the letters. Okay, so what do I do? Either play off just the G, or probably better playing off GO. I could do that down here, go and goo, which would obstruct my opponent sticking an A in front of taxis. I could play goop. And what would be good about GO is that my opponent would be drawn to playing in row O, but I don't particularly need him to be drawn. Although maybe I do, because at the moment our he's is the only 7-letter lane. The V has stops me playing in row E, and it's also taken out the fader hook, and taxis has taken out the sax hook. This still doesn't feel quite right, though. Only 9 points, and I'm providing an easy scoring opportunity. I think I can do better than that. I think goop is better than that, even though it's only 9 points. Okay, so there is a 7 here. Tony's does go with a T. Toniest and tonight's. Great. Tonight's and Ahi's. I don't have an A for going in front of taxis. So I think tonight's, or tonight's rather, is my only bingo that I've seen. What about a play which ends E gap S? So this rack with an E. Can't see anything. Do I have anything through OB? And OB is quite useful as a starter, but I've only got 6 spaces afterwards, so it can't be a prefix. And I can't see anything. Well, hopefully Tonites will remain available. My opponent's unlikely to play in column 14 unless he has a bingo, but he may play across from the C. However, should he do so, he will be providing floaters. I don't think Kidias takes an S in front, otherwise Toniest would play in row E. Now, what about T? Do I have a play with the T? Don't think so. Through a C, I would have centoist. I've obstructed VR as a pair of tiles to play through. E and U is available, but they're not well placed. I guess I could have an E-O-U-S ending word, but I can't see one with the letters I have. Tonight is going to be pretty low scoring, and it's going to be opening up column 15, so it's not going to be massively useful. I do have another spot. Look, column 11, Toniest and Keeves. Great. And that's going to score more. It is going to open up a 9-timer, but I'm not too bothered about that. They don't happen very often. So I should be, or will be, bingoing after my opponent's played. I wonder if my opponent's knows the A front hook to taxis. That's quite a hot spot. A play in column 1 with the A hook and then a high-scoring tile on the double letter square, and the play being tripled could well give a bingo-y score for a non-bingo-y play. Still both blanks out there, so this is a good time for bingoing because it's good to turn over tiles when there are blanks available. My opponent's taking a while, so he may well have one or both blanks. But he can't stop me bingoing, I don't think. Well, I guess he could if he played in row E across here. Toniest in column 11 is my play. 27 points. 11 minutes on my opponent's clock, 10 minutes on mine. I have a 98-point lead. Still 36 tiles in the bag. So 2/3 of the bag is empty, but both blanks are unseen. Great, only 15 points for my opponent. Now YE takes a T in front. Great, so I've now got another spot for Toniest and Tonight's because SYE is good, and both of those are much safer than the column 14 play. So do I have a choice of where to play? Can I overlap both letters in U? YE takes an E and an O and an N in front. So I can play Toniest, but that places a T in column 15, so that's too dangerous. SU not good. TU not good. So Toniest doesn't work. What about Tonight's? Well, again, that plays in column D. Okay, so I can't see anything better than Tonites. 72. Still no blank. But I have a good lead. I'm 150 points up. Not a great rack, but it should be fairly easy to resolve because I have a good mixture of vowels and consonants and I have a high scoring tile in the B. So I'll be looking to play off one of the A's and the B. Ah, I now have an A for making A taxis. Nice bingo by my opponent. The A taxi spot remains available. So I could play, I was going to say Borage, but that doesn't quite work. I was looking for a BA play. Can't see one. I could play Borage up the top. No, GA not good. What do I have to play down from H1? Again, I'm looking to stick an A in front of... I've got a bear, so actually this might be worth doing because it's tripling the B. This is the scenario I envisaged earlier of a high-scoring tile on that spot. Only 7 minutes on my clock, so I don't want to hang around too long here. 44 points is a good score. But a better play would be probably a 4-letter play coming down here. That would mean an A or an E going in front of the T. Yes, Bigar. That works. Keeping 2 vowels, not good. But look, there's only 1 A left, only 2 O's. There's only 8 vowels out of 27, so actually that's quite a good rack leave. And 57 points is massive. Great. I draw only 1 vowel, so having kept 2 vowels, knowing that the bag was vowel light, it's paid off. I have a balanced rack, and I have good scoring tiles. I could play Wit in column 8, over 40 points, which is good. Column 1, maybe a little bit hotter. And I'm wondering if there's somewhere for my J, if I have a J play in column 1. Jedi would have worked if I had an E. I don't. Wit's quite nice in that it keeps 2 vowels and a good scoring tile. So what's the best I can do in column 1? Hadji. And actually my best is quite good. 48 points. If I played Wit, 41. So this is 7 points better than Wit, and I'm taking out a more dangerous spot. So I think that's okay. Well, I draw vowels, so there's only 4 left now out of 17. Well, that's not dry enough to mean my opponent's in trouble. The remaining tiles very bingo-y. He doesn't bingo. I draw an I, the only remaining I for going after the Q. So I could play, well, nothing. I was going to say DF, that doesn't work. Through an R I would have firewood, but no real floaters to consider on this board. I could play Coof across here. I've got a lead of about 200 points, so I'm in very good shape. I can certainly survive a bingo, although I don't want to needlessly give one away. 5 minutes on my clock. Coof would keep the I for GI, for QI rather. But Even better, why not just play OW down here? It's a good score. I'm retaining the I. I'm not opening up any bingo lanes. I'm taking out a floater. And I'm keeping a vowel. I'm keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave when there are very few vowels left. And even fewer vowels now, just the 2. A vowel shortage may be preventing my opponent from bingoing. I don't have a bingo myself with this rack. I've got Deut. 26 points, not a great score. So I think my priority is playing the F for score. I can't see a way of a 3-letter play down here which uses the F. I could play Coif, with that would be burning the I. Not a disaster. I'd rather keep it if I can. Great, my opponent does not bingo, and he's played off an E. The remaining tiles are now non-bingo-y, which is good. 4 minutes on my clock. Just wondering if I've got a play using the F in column 8. It doesn't have to be 4-letter plays, it could be a 6-letter play. I think Deut's the only thing I've got there. 2 tiles in the bag. Now, is there anywhere, any short word that I can play with my F? Well, there's nowhere great I can play just the F. I've got a lot of vowels. I'm looking at the possibilities of playing around here. I could play Fid, but then I'm keeping 4 vowels and I'd quite like to play off one of them. Well, what about playing Deut and retaining the F for score? The O doesn't really help my opponent, I don't think. And the D certainly doesn't with the vowel shortage. So 26 points, quite a good score, and I'm retaining the F for score next time. I can now see what my opponent's got. He's got 3 R's and 2 N's, so he's not in great shape. I've got 6 tiles, but I can't go out. The V and the F are a particularly bad pair of tiles to keep, to have on one's rack at the same time. I do have an S for going after YU. And for going after ammo. I could play these down here in column 12. Keeping FN, and then I can play, well, I was going to say Fin, that doesn't work. But I would have Fen after playing these. But I need to find somewhere where I've got 2 outs. However, my opponent ought to be aiming to go out in 2 himself, so I will probably have just the 1 go. I could play Neves in column 12, that would score a bit more. I can't see a way of playing the F and the V in column 12. Or indeed anywhere else. So just waiting for my opponent to play. He's got 7 minutes on his clock. Rober for 6. I'll just check that. Fantastic, it comes off. Which means I get 2 goes. So, what can I do in 2 goes? So I could play Neves, keeping just the F. But there's nowhere great for just the F. Well, there may be nowhere great for it, but there will be places for it. I've got EF up here, and I've got FOB down here. 24 points. And I go through the 500 mark. My opponent resigns, which is okay. It's right at the end of the game. So the final score is 297 to my opponent, 509 to me, a winning margin of 212. So a massive, massive win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He played Fejur, and I had Kidias and Skidia, and they were the only bingos. Now, did I play it in that spot? I hope I did. Gosh, did I play it one place higher? No, I think I did play it in the right spot. And my opponent plays Flexo, which was nice. This was my rack. No bingos here. Map or nice word. What did I do? I played ammo for 23. Quite a big score deficit, but a much better rack leave. My opponent's rack, he phonied with Maxis. I was able to play Spangled, which gave me a good lead. My opponent plays Mayo, which is a good score. Now I struggled with this rack. Zoe was good for 50. Toes for 40. H2. Yep, okay. Topaz for 39. K7. Oh, wow. Running parallel to Mayo. That would have been really nice. I think that would have been my preferred play. Oh, well, I think there were some better plays than Zoe for 28. Anyway, moving on. My opponent plays Ahi. Great, I didn't miss a bingo here. I played Nub. I think that's fine, given my rack leave. This is my opponent's rack. He played Kiev. Ooh, Catnips. Okay, that's a bad miss. That's a pretty common word, so not good to miss it. My opponent, I played Cap for 25, keeping a good rack leave. So, although it was bad to miss, it won't be as bad as other misses can be. My opponent plays Taxis, and I didn't have a bingo here. I played Goop, and I think that's fine, given the rack leave. Nice rack for my opponent. He's got quality on his rack. Oh, look at that, and it would have played in column 1. Yep, quality and duality, so fortunate for me he didn't see that. And, oh, I didn't think of Snotty, which... would that have... No, that wouldn't have overlapped the Y and the U, so Toniest and Tonites look fine. My opponent's rack, he played Tallytot, which was a nice bingo, only 59 points. And now Begar for 57 was best, so glad to have spotted that. My opponent has the Q, he plays Chi. Jihad. Yep, that would have eked out a few more points, or 9 more points than Hadji. So Jihad, definitely a better play. My opponent's rack, he plays Anau. And, well, a whole bunch of fairly low-scoring plays with okay-ish rack leave, so Ow is fine. Yeah, that's in the mix, especially given the shortage of vowels. My opponent plays Tech. This was my rack. 2 tiles in the bag. Conf, yeah, may well have been worth considering, because the O not really helpful, so the N and the F not helpful for my opponent. And 27 points quite good and a good rack leave. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't do that. I played Deut. This was my opponent's rack. He doesn't have a bingo. And he phonied with Rober. This was my rack. Fiends for 30. Well, I wouldn't want to keep a lone V. And Yeah, all of these plays are similar to the one I made. And I think at this point my opponent resigned. He did. So that was the end of the game. So pretty exciting game. Always good to get over 500 points and a huge, huge spread. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.